Hey guys, here we are for the 5th round. We're going to be on the play. Let's have a quick look at what our opponent's playing. Let's see here. Tarako. So it looks like he's playing Delver Blade. Okay. His hand looks just fine. I think it's the first time we've been on the play here. Maybe the second time, but very happy with this hand. We can get the turn 2 Mortar Pod for his turn 1 Delver, and have the Gut Shot backup. So, I mean, one of the good things about this PTQ is it gives us a chance to really find out just how good this deck is against Delver. Both Delver Blade and Delver Esper Delver. So we did end up losing a match to Delver where we allowed ourselves to time out. Now in that third game of the match, it looked like it was kind of going in our favor there, so I believe that we may have won that match, barring timer constraints. Now of course, it certainly could have gone the other way, but this is going to be good because ultimately, even if we don't place in this PTQ, there are a number of other PTQs coming up, and really kind of preparing for that, and then also for the GPs. I mean, it's a great sounding board to use the PTQ as a chance to find out kind of what works, what doesn't work, what kind of sideboard plan you need to have. Now, granted, the game of Magic, in its physical version, the metagame may be quite different from what we're seeing online, just due to money and cost constraints, but I think that predominantly there will be a large number of Delver decks out there, and the real question is how much Wolf Runner is there going to be, just because the sideboard plan that we need to devote heavily against Delver really takes away our strength against decks like Wolf Run, where we want to have access to 4-mana leaks and Oblivion Ring if they resolve a Titan. So I feel like there's not really enough room in the sideboard to do both, but could be worth another look at the sideboard maybe after the PTQ, just kind of find out where we need to make changes if we do. Okay, looks like our opponent is actually finally back. So, Delver Blade. Definitely, we have a few key cards here which are pretty important. Obviously, if we can avoid the Geist of St. Traft, it would be amazing. But if he does have Geist, we're going to need to really have enough guys to either race him or just make sure we can chump it and allow ourselves to actually kill it. Geist is one of the problem cards in this matchup, which without Image is just very, very difficult to deal with. So I think here, I mean, we could just gather to get our beats down, but I'd rather, well, if we could ponder here, if we ponder into Champion, I think it's a little bit better. We've got Snapcaster. I actually think we want a different set of cards here. We want to see if we can get Paladin online, go for the combo, or maybe hopefully get Champion. Okay, so now we're happy to drop down Collar. We lose a little bit of value by not having the card draw off of Paladin, but I think that this is such a fast-paced match that we really we can't waste time not casting spells. Okay, so there's the Delver. I think we want to gut shot it here because next turn we want to be able to Trinket Mage. So if he has the Vapor Snag, that's fine. I guess the hesitation means that he probably knows we've got gut shot, but either way, I mean, if he Vapor Snags it, That's honestly fine. So, opponent is deep in the tank. There we go. And here we're going to line up our next turn for Puresteel into even more card draw, set up the combo. Like, he has Snapcaster, but so do we, so we don't want to shut down the graveyard. We'd rather make sure that we just pick up more of the combo. Some Delver decks have been turning to like sort of Feast and Famine, which is really great for us if they continue in that, but War and Peace is quite a beating. Okay, so here I think we just want to go Puresteel into Collar. Just kind of smooth through our deck a little bit, give it more value. And I mean, like, we could have gone Trinket Mage there, but resolving Puresteel is pretty important, I think. We're going to try to trade with Geist. And like, if he snags our Trinket Mage, we're just fine. So he probably has Geist number 2, but I think even still, let's see, so if we block Geist and we trade, he plays Geist again. I think we're still fine with that, to be honest. Then he won't be able to mana leak our Puresteel. So if he leaves 2 up, we're definitely not playing Puresteel. We're just going to Trinket Mage into more nonsense for Puresteel. Try to bait it out a little bit. We could also just try to run out Gather to see if we can get it countered. But I think I'd rather Trinket Mage here. Well, yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it's like, if he leaves 2 up, I think we do want to Trinket Mage, yeah. Or we could just double Gather. I actually kind of like that a little bit more. Okay, so there's the mana leak. We could have, actually we should have dropped Puresteel after the first leak. That was definitely a misplay. That was definitely a misplay. So now we have to assume he has another leak back up. Ugh. So like, here we just bait it out, I think, with Trinket Mage. Yeah. It's because if he has something for one of our humans, we need to be able to block. There's the mana leak. Now we're paying for it. Yep. So if he has Snapcaster or War and Peace, yuck. Okay, yeah, the misplay on the Puresteel might cost us the game here. So pretty much we need Mortipod to block that next turn. What's our play? I think we Ponder. Trinket Mage might pull us out of this, I think. See, we go Puresteel into Mortar Pod. I think we need Trinket Mage next turn to get to the full effect, so that's actually fine. Okay. We can't use the extra 1 mana this turn anyway, so you probably want Plains, Trinket Mage, Seachrome Coast. If he has anything for the Mortipod, it's over, but hopefully he does not. And actually, it doesn't matter because we're at 3. Never mind, we're just dead. Yeah. I think we can make a bunch of guys, but none of them can block Geist, except the Mortar Pod, and we need the Mortar Pod to make a flyer. So unfortunately we're just dead. Let's see, 3, 6, 8 damage. Doesn't quite get there. Yeah, we're dead on the table. Unless, no. Yeah, no, we're dead. Yep. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. So the one turn of the misplay on the Puresteel definitely cost us the game. So against Double-Blade, Spellskite, Image, Gale, Lifestaff, Misstep, Cutting, Ponder, Probe, and what else? Graph Figures Cage, Double Collar. Well, this hand looks okay. So I need to start playing a little bit slower. You could drop Lifestaff down here. Probably not the worst idea, actually. I mean, we of course could get more value if we wait for Paladin, but we may not be able to cast Paladin, so here we're going to let it resolve because we're just going to Mortar Pod it. Okay, so now we're going to try to bait him out with... I think we want to... Could do Gather here. Kind of want Spellskite so we have immediate control with Paladin. I kind of like that actually a little bit more. There's the mana leak. Okay. That's not happening. Put that away. Alright, so he might have leak. I mean, next turn he could just have... Like, he could just have Snapcaster for leak anyways with the land. I think we need to force out the Paladin. If he has double leak, I guess he just gets us. And he just gets us. Okay, whatever. I guess we could have baited it out with something else, but then he could just sit back with 4 mana. Hard to know what the right play was there. If we need to like bait out a second mana leak or not. There's Dover. And the SOB even managed to get the Ponder into it so that he can set up his next turn. What a sack. Alright, yeah, we're just going to drop Gather here. And then if we draw a land, just, I guess, double Mortar Pod that thing. Except we won't have the Mortar Pod anymore because he's got Revoke. And War and Peace, just in case. Okay. That's pretty ridiculous. So I guess we're just losing here, I think. Spellscape no longer even matters. God. Let's see, what do we do? I think we're probably just dead, to be honest. It's like if we drop down Spellskite, we can stop the Revoke, but then he gets us for a lot. If we Mortar Pod, so he hits us for 7 next turn. If we drop Spellskite and bash in, I think we just lose to War and Peace. So the one game where we misplayed the one turn with Puresteel cost us the match. And with these kinds of games, they are so, I mean, every turn matters so much, every single play matters so much, that one simple misplay during one turn can cost you the entire match. And our opponent seems to have gone away for a while. Yep, and I think we're just cold to that. So, let's see, we quit Mortar Pod, go to 7, and we still die. Alright, so that was round 5. We will see you for the next round and try to minimize the misplays.